Right now in the MMA world, it is the Ilia Topuria show. Everybody is talking about this dude, and how could we not be? I mean, he KO'd Alexander Volkanovski, KO'd Max Holloway, and now KO'd Oliveira at a higher weight class. What we have to look at is how does this dude hit so hard? Some people just have that God-given power, kind of like Alex Pereira. For me to sit here and be like, do these 10 things and you're gonna hit as hard as Pereira. No, not many people can do that. And not many people are gonna be able to hit as hard as Ilia Topuria. He seems to touch people and they're just done. But we can look at his training methods, look at his technique, and figure out how we can improve our own power by 10%, 20%, even 30%. I was working with somebody the other day. I gave them 2 or 3 tips, adjusted a couple things, and no lie, I said this to them. I'm like, you are now hitting 30 to 40% harder than you were 5 minutes ago. So let's look at Topuria, look at his training methods, look at his technique, and try and replicate it to get more power. Before we get to that, I want to let everybody know that we have a 4th of July sale happening at Strike Ready Combat, where you can grab my offense course and my defense course, both normally priced at $300, 67% off for just $9.99. All these belts behind me, I show you how I won them. I show you the techniques, the mindset, the strategy, so much that went into helping me become a 2-time Glory champion, a 2-time Bellator champion, and a 6-time pro kickboxing world champion. Jump on this fantastic deal before it's gone, guys. Now, let's start off and let's talk about a simple training tool that you can utilize to help you hit faster and harder. And Topuria uses it as well. Now, he has a little bit more of an elaborate setup than I have here today. I actually have the same setup that he has, the straps and everything like that, from XMartial. I have a link down below where you can save 10% on XMartial gear if you want the same as Topuria. But a lot of times I'll use this. I just have a resistance band. I'll strap it behind my back and I'll hook my thumbs in. From there, what we have now is my hands rest naturally in their fight pose. I don't have to resist from here to hold them. They just sit naturally. As I extend, I'm going to have to put extra power in to get that hand out as fast as normal, right? If I'm here and I can kind of, boom, now I got that resistance, just that tiny bit of resistance, and it's gonna help. And we can see Topuria doing his open rounds in the cage with this extra resistance. And what I love about it is it teaches you to get more power upon extension, but helps you fire back to protect your head faster than normal. It really ingrains more power, lots of speed on that reach chamber, because that's where so many people make their errors when punching. They forget however fast your punch goes out, it should come back quicker. Because once I get out here, yes, I can hurt somebody, but they can also hurt me because I'm exposed. So I think this is a great training tool and one that will help you increase your power, maintain good technique. You can't have this in here and be doing weird sloppy punches. They just feel so awkward. So it does so much for you. Again, XMartial has one. Any resistance band you have that's about yay long. This one here is probably about 1 meter, I would guess, but maybe 3.5 feet. But something like that is going to serve you so well, and Topuria is using it, so we should all look and go, huh, should we be using that as well? I have incorporated this into my training for many, many years now. The normal routine that I do is not like him. I won't do pad work with it, but what I will do is at the end of a training session, I'll throw this on. I'll do 30 seconds of shadow boxing really fast. I'm just going slow right now, but kind of like this, taking little pauses, getting some blocks. I'll do 30 seconds and then I'll drop it, throw it to the side, and then do 30 seconds even faster. Now that it feels like, oh, that resistance is gone and I can really snap those punches. I'll go back and forward 3 times and that's a round right there. Now, something that blew my mind that I saw the other day is UFC champion, I guess officially now 2 weight classes down at bantamweight, Merab Derishwili, something like that. Merab was saying he sparred with Topuria, and he's like, I can't spar with the guy anymore. He's like, he hits too hard. He dropped me with 2 body shots, and every time the round finishes, he's just thanking God that it's done. And to hear somebody like that say something about a person who's a weight class or 2 above you just shows how powerful they really are. So I was shocked to hear that. Now, something that we'll see Merab do, or sorry, not Merab, we'll see Topuria do that helps increase his power, I believe, is his follow through. And this was something that McGregor did as well. Although McGregor was a little bit extreme with it, and sometimes it was overextended in my opinion. So we would see McGregor moving around and he would throw and his hand would go really low. But McGregor had such good ability to understand distance, and he was so long that he could get away with it. But that follow through is going to give you loads of power. Now Topuria, he has his hands more here, so he doesn't just aim to the target, he aims through the target, but he's faster than McGregor on that rechamber. So having the ability to go, okay, even when I jab, I'm not aiming just to the target or a couple inches through the target, I'm aiming dramatically through, like 6 inches. So when that jab lands, it's boom, it's devastating. If you're able to do that, you are going to note a massive increase in power. Now it works very well with his style because he's a little shorter, he's a little more compact than most of the guys he's fighting. So once he's got himself into that tight range, why not move another inch or 2 forward? And we saw that when I did a video yesterday talking about Topuria's jab and his diversity. We saw it when he threw his jab on Oliveira, one of those first ones, boom. Oliveira's trying to low kick him, but he's so jammed because Topuria has moved in so far that the calf kick or kick to the knee didn't really do anything. But that follow through is everything. So when you have a pad in front of you, don't just think, okay, I'm going to here, or I'm throwing my hook and just passing through a little bit. We come dramatically through, and that will increase your power. Now that moves us on to the next point. How does he do that without getting really wild, without getting really sloppy? One simple tip, and I've talked to you about this before when I've discussed Topuria on the channel, it's his shoulders. It's all about this dude's shoulders. Watch them. When he throws anything, he leads with the shoulder, whereas many people will sort of punch, and then after the fact, the shoulder will twist. This guy, even on a jab, he rotates and at the last second lets that punch go, especially on that overhand. Shoulder leads and then the arm follows. And that in itself is going to increase your power because it's not about the arm, it's about the whole body moving and the arm following. And that right there is a power source that is going to be so much more dramatic than just this on its own. How do we go about training this? Well, number one, try to throw some punches without your arms. Let's say I'm going jab, cross, hook. Do that without your arms. What do I do? I'm going to throw an uppercut off the back shoulder. A cross, cross hook. Get really dramatic with that ability to twist because you're only focusing on that. Then add it in. Maybe do something like, okay, jab, cross, and then jab, cross for real. Cross hook, and then again, and try and recreate the exact motion that you did previously, leading with the shoulder, letting the arm follow at the end. This is, I think, one of the big secrets to his power success. The final point that I want to talk about, and I've mentioned this before when we talked about Pereira, your hands. If a hand is a little bit loose, it does not have that same clunk as when you make a tight fist and you land. And I've noted this as an error in myself. Sometimes when I'm hitting, I'll go, oh, I didn't really close my fist as much as I should have. And yeah, I hit the guy, but it wasn't the same as when I close my fist and it's boom, this big solid mass that hits the person. So I'm suspecting that Topuria has very tight fists, but to stay loose and make tight fists, it feels a little bit of opposites, because when I squeeze my fist, my forearm seems to want to squeeze, my bicep wants to squeeze, and my shoulder wants to squeeze. So see if you can loosen up, but maintain those very tight fists. And then from there, I've been working on this myself, and then from there, with these tight fists but loose arms, try and fire in now. And you might feel that increase in power when you actually hit something. If you don't feel it, I'm darn sure your pad holder or your sparring partners are gonna feel it. And I think very often when we're being nice in sparring, we make mistakes that end up haunting us. And a mistake I've always made is aim for people's foreheads instead of the jaw. And keep my hands relaxed when I'm tapping away so I don't hurt somebody, as opposed to closing it and actually throwing. So being nice sometimes comes back and haunts us a little bit. I'm trying to make those corrections now later in my career, but it is difficult. But for anybody who's new out there to the sport, it's something that you can work on. Tight fists. And I think you'll note that that plus everything else I said today is going to improve your punching power by 10, 20, maybe even a higher percentage. That's it, everybody. Topuria. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for his next fight, whether it be against Gaethje or Paddy Pimbleton or Arman, one of these dudes. It's going to be amazing. Or maybe we get really lucky and Islam comes back down. That would be pretty wild. Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. I'll see you back here soon for another video.